Okay, family, grab your cup of coffee, hot tea, or any beverage of your choice. Let's get started. Hello, family. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicky, and you're with Grammy in the Kitchen. So Lidl's had chicken breast for $1.99 a pound. No, family, that is not cheap at all. But they did have a 15-pound limit, so I ended up with 3 packages. The first one is 4.37 pounds, the second one is 4.34 pounds, and the third one is 4.9 pounds. That's under 15 pounds, but if I would have gotten another one, I would have to pay the difference of 60 cents a pound, and I just wasn't going to do that. The sale ended yesterday. I should have gone earlier in the week and bought more, but I didn't. So we're just going to use what we have. We're going to save one of these breasts for dinner tonight, but the rest of them, we're going to jar them. I have wide mouth pint jars right there that I had cleaned this morning. I got the canner on the stove with cold water at the required amount. I had to go by Walmart this morning to pick up some more rings. I don't know where my rings are. And while I was there, I picked up this one-piece wide mouth lids to replace some of the lids I have on my spices so I can have some rings back. But that's okay. I picked up 12 this morning. Now we are cold packing this chicken, which means cold food, in this case chicken, cold jars, cold canner. And we're going to cook everything in the canner. Okay, I just looked it up, and it's 65 minutes for pints and 75 minutes for quarts. I do like removing as much of the fat as I can. Just makes a cleaner product. So we're going to cut these about 3/4 of an inch, little cubes. I have a bowl right here. I'm just going to place everything in the bowl. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut all of this chicken, save one breast for dinner tonight, and then we're going to put them in jars. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator until we're ready to cook dinner. So I have all the other chicken breasts cut up into cubes. I have lids, rings, vinegar, a paper towel, my jars, my spacer, and my debubbler. Let's get started. Oh, and the funnel. So we're just going to tightly pack these in here to a 1-inch headspace. Push it down in there. And then the debubbler also has a measure on the other side, and we're at 1 inch. Let me get all these jars filled up, and we're going to wipe the rims. So I ended up with 12 pints and 1/2 pint. So we got vinegar. I do want to wipe the rims really well. That's going to help the seals on these lids to seal very tightly to the jars. And we're using vinegar because that cuts through grease and any oils. And it also gives us a chance to inspect the lids to make sure we have no cracks or broken pieces. So we're going to take a new lid, and you know my favorite lids are 4-jar lids. We're just going to seal those so they're fingertip tight. Now you can add salt or seasonings or whatever you want at this stage if you want to. I don't, because I just want plain chicken. That way I can dress it up any way we feel like making. The husband likes to take this and make a chicken salad, so we don't want any herbs or spices in it. We can season it when we're ready. But what do I mean by fingertip tight? So once you put your lid on and you put your rings on, fingertip tight means don't crank it down. That's a no-no. You just want it tight enough to where the jar is spinning and the lid is on, but it's not cranked down. That's all we want, just fingertip tight. Just loosely give it a whirl, and it's not on there too tight. So we're going to go ahead and place these in the canner. So I have the All-American 921 canner, and it holds 7 quarts or 18 pints, double stacked on the pints. So we're going to put the jars in here. Like I said, the canner is cold, the water is cold, the jars are cold, and the chicken is cold. Eight on the bottom. Put the spacer on. And there is no time to can half pints when it comes to canning. There's no time for that. So we're just going to leave this in here the same amount of time we have our pints, which is 65 minutes. I'm going to put in the leftover vinegar. It's not required. It just helps to keep the minerals from depositing on our jars and keep our jars clean on the outside. Place our lid. All-American has an arrow right here with an indent right here. You want to make sure that's lined up. Make sure your spacing from the lid and the base is equal. Bring up the wing nuts. And now we're going to do a visual inspection on the gap between the lid and the base. Okay, let's crank it down. Turn these wing nuts until they can't be removed or accidentally slide off. Turn the burner on. I got it on medium heat. We're going to let it heat up, and then steam is going to come out of this valve right here, this tube. We need to let it steam for 10 minutes. Then we can put our weight on. This is a 5, 10, 15 pound weight. My altitude requires 10 pounds of pressure. We'll place that on there, and this gauge will start slowly moving. Once it gets to 10 pounds of pressure, the weight's going to start jiggling and make all kinds of noise. Once that happens, that's when our timer starts. At my altitude, 10 pounds of pressure for 65 minutes. And we're looking for about 4 jiggles a minute. So it's going to go jiggle, 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 stop, jiggle, 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 stop, jiggle, 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 stop. We're looking for 4 a minute. We'll adjust the flame to make sure we achieve that. We don't want it less than 4, and we don't need it more than 4. After the 60 minutes is up, we'll turn the burner off. We're going to leave the weight on that valve, on that steam valve. Let pressure come back down to 0, and then we'll be ready to open it. But in the meantime, I got a few other things from the grocery store we need to take care of. So while I was at Lidl's, they had their organic, it's Produce Harvest Land Whole Young Chicken, organic, for $1.99 a pound. I know we could get conventional for around 99 cents to $1.19, but this was organic. I went ahead and picked up 2 of these. So one was 5.13 pounds, the other is $4.93 a pound. So the first one, we saved $4.10, and the second one we saved $3.94. They were regular price at $2.79, so we saved about 80 cents a pound. I'm going to go ahead and cut these up into fryer parts. That's the plan. All right, so one is frozen and one is thawed. We're going to work on the thaw one first. Hopefully we can get to that frozen one. It's not completely frozen, it's just partially. But we're going to remove the wing. We're going to let the weight of the chicken do the work for us. I'm going to cut the tips off. I have a third bowl right here. We'll put the tips in there because we'll save that for chicken stock. And the other 2 pieces I like to break in half. And have 2 pieces. And now we're going to work on the leg. We'll remove the thigh from the main body. break that joint. And there's a fat line right here between the drumstick and the thigh. And you can cut right between that joint. And then right there at the breast line, there's a fat right there. We're going to take some kitchen shears and cut right down that fat line all the way to where the wings were connected. Do that on both sides. So here's our backbone, here's our breast. We're going to snap it. We're going to save that for chicken stock. That is the backbone. Here's our breast. We're going to cut right down the center until we hit that breastbone. Then we're going to take our knife, rock it back and forth until we separate into two pieces of breast. And because the breast is bigger than the other pieces of the chicken, I like to cut my breast into two pieces. So where it comes down to a point, I'm going to make that 2/3. And where the meatier pieces up top, I'm going to do that in 1/3. So 2/3 and 1/3. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Again, rock it across that bone. And that way they're almost even pieces. Let's do the other one. Perfect. See if we can work on the other chicken. Nope, his back is a little frozen. All right, I'm going to let that sit here for a few minutes. We'll put this in the refrigerator. I'm going to put our scraps in the refrigerator just so they'll stay chill before we package them. I washed my hands. So here's a food safety tip for you. When you're doing a lot of things at one time, like we're cutting up chicken and we're cooking chicken, there is a 4-hour rule. You can cut chicken, you can cut your meat as much as you want. But if you're going to be using the same equipment, such as a cutting board, a knife, kitchen shears, bowls, all these things, and you're going beyond that 4-hour mark, you need to stop. Put everything in the refrigerator, let everything get back to cold temperatures. Wash, dry everything. Once the items in the refrigerator are below 40 degrees, you can bring it out, clean surface, clean everything, and continue. But if you're going to be doing everything under 4 hours, you don't need to stop and chill things and wash things. Just do it all at that time. But just remember, there's a 4-hour rule. Bacteria grows in food between 40 degrees and 140 degrees. So the longer it's in that span, the more bacteria you're going to have in your food. So you want to work efficient and fast. So 4 hours, stop, wash all your utensils, put everything in the refrigerator. Once the temperature gets back down below 40 degrees, then you can bring everything out and continue. We're going to be doing this under 4 hours, so I'm not worried about bacteria in my kitchen. Just remember, there are 4 rules. Keep everything below 40 degrees or higher than 140 degrees, or process it under 4 hours. Just remember the 3 4s. 4 hours, 40 degrees, or higher than 140. As long as you follow those rules, you can process your food as much as you want. Just pause, chill your food, wash your equipment, and then start all over again. I was able to get the second chicken cut up. So this is the 2 backbones and the wing tips in a gallon size Ziploc bag. And put this in the freezer until we need to make stock. I have 2 vacuum sealed bags. I've already sealed one end. And we're going to go ahead and place our whole chicken in here. And do the other chicken. I have the vacuum sealer. And I'm going to hit vacuum and seal. And now they're ready for the freezer. So I have 2 whole cut up chickens, plus our backbone and wing tips, ready for the freezer. So the other thing I got at Lidl's was this thick cut bacon. They're 24 ounces, which is 1.5 pounds. That's more than what the husband and I need for a breakfast or a dinner. So I'm planning on cutting them in half. They were $3.99 for 24 ounces, regular $5.29. So we have them vacuum sealed, ready for the freezer. So let me explain something to you, what happened to me at Lidl's last night. I just wanted 2 packages of their bacon. They charged me for 5. I go late in the evening. I didn't notice until I came home and they were already closed. So I've got to go back up there and talk to the manager about that. If I can get 3 more packages, fine. If they want to reimburse me the difference for those 3 packages, fine. Either way is okay with me. But if I do get those, That would be even better. So we ended up spending $74.07. Our savings, because the bacon was on sale, the whole chickens were on sale, and the chicken breasts we bought were also on sale. Our savings was $25.40. So the timer went off on the canner. I just turned the burner off, but we're not going to touch it until the pressure equalizes and becomes 0. Then we can take that weight off. It's time to take the weight off of our canner. We're going to wait 5 minutes. We'll undo the wing nuts, lift the lid up and let it rest on the base. We're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. We're going to take the lid off, let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then we can take our jars out. Now we started the canning process at 9 o'clock this morning. We let it come up to temperature, steam for 10 minutes, put the weight on it, let it go under pressure at 10 pounds pressure, started our timer at 65 minutes, turned the burner off after that time, and it took 30 minutes for the pressure to come down. And we're almost ready to take that chicken out of that canner. 5 minutes is up. When we lift the lid, we want to make sure we lift it away from us so we don't get a facial of hot steam. Now I've got it resting on the bottom, and we're going to let it sit there for 5 minutes. Let's take the lid off. We're going to let that rest for another 5 minutes. But it's bubbly hot in there. Can you see all the little bubbles in there? Gorgeous. And we're going to start hearing some pings when those lids seal up completely. And now we're ready to take it out of the canner. And we put no liquid in here. This is all chicken broth from when that chicken was cooking in the canner. And the last one. Now this canning process for chicken is called ugly chicken because you can see some bits and pieces in here. That's just the white stuff when you're cooking chicken that comes off. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong. You can see it bubbling still. You can see the broth that it formed in here. Absolutely gorgeous. Now there's another technique. It's called the pretty chicken, where you pre-cook your chicken and hot pack it and you add water. Because once you cook it, it doesn't have the fat and the liquid in it to make its own broth, so you have to add water to the process. But ugly chicken is the easiest way to go. Now there are some videos out there are some people out there that will water bath low acid foods such as meats, chicken. The National Food Preservation highly suggests you not water bath low acid foods. Pressure canning is the best way to preserve your money, to preserve what foods you buy or grow so that you don't cause sickness to your family. Now, If you're an experienced canner, then go ahead, do what you want to do. But if you're new to canning, stick to the rules that are known to work. Chicken or meat in general is a low acid food, and it has to be pressure canned. Please don't risk your family's health by going with what the trend is doing. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So last night after I got off from work, I went back to Lidl's and I explained to the manager my situation with the bacon. She was nice enough to let me go ahead and pick up 3 more instead of doing the refund. So we ended up with 5 of these, which is what we paid for. And I'm just going to process these the same way. Cut them in half, put them in vacuum seal bags, and seal them. So all the bacon has been cut in half and vacuum sealed. So that gives us 6 more meals. They actually had boneless pork loin on sale for $1.99 a pound. Regular price is $2.29. It's only 30 cents, but it's still 30 cents. So this was a 4.97 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and cut these into boneless pork chops. I put it in the freezer this morning just so it can firm up a bit and it'll make it easier to slice. It's not frozen solid, it's just a little firm. I do want to give it a good drying, just so my knife won't slip around. I'm not even going to worry about removing this fat unless it's really thick. And just the pieces that are hanging off. I think the rest of it looks okay. This is an 11-inch piece of pork loin. I do want to cut them, and yes, I did sharpen my knife. I want to cut them about 1/2 inch. I think I'll start in the center. So I'm going to cut it in half. We really don't care for thick pork chops, but you can make it as thick as you want. I'll put some indents in here just so I know where my 1/2 inch are. And I am just eyeballing it. And if you've priced pork chops lately, even on sale, they could be anywhere between $2.50 to $4 a pound. And by buying a loin roast and cutting it ourselves, we are saving so much money because this is only $1.99 a pound. All right, starting to get a little thin. This is going to be kind of hard, but just take your time. That one kind of got a little wonky. Now when you're cutting across meat like this, you've got to know where your fingers are. Be very mindful of what you're doing. All right, now the other half. And I'm going to portion these 4 chops per meal. That way we can have dinner one night and lunch the next day. I've got 4 that are 4, and I have 1 that is 3. Actually, it's 2 with this little funky one. So I am going to save 1 portion of 4. We're going to have that for dinner tonight. I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. So that leaves me with 4 that we need to vacuum seal. And I don't want to stack them, because that'll make it easier to and faster to have them thawed. That is that really thick one. It's okay if they overlap just a bit. All right, that's 1. So that gave us a total of 9 meals from that pork loin. I have a portion in the refrigerator for tonight's dinner. 4 pork chops is actually the husband and myself for dinner one night, and then lunch the next day. And then we ended up with 1, 2, 3 4 counts, and 1 is like 2.5. So each one of these bags represents 2 meals. That's 2, 4, 6. This is 1 meal. 7 plus the 2 we have in the refrigerator, 9. The bacon was 24 ounces. I cut them in half, so they're 3/4 of a pound in each one of these bags. We bought 5 things of bacon at $3.99 a pound. I cut them in half. Each one of these represents 1 meal. So from 5 packs of bacon, we've got 10 meals. In the freezer, we got those 2 whole organic chickens that we cut up into fryer parts. They were $1.99 a pound. Each whole chicken represents about 3 meals for the husband and myself, because I can have it for dinner, lunch the next day, and dinner again that day also. The chicken breast that we got on sale at $1.99 a pound, we ended up with 12 pints plus a half a pint. We have shelf-stabled jarred chicken that we canned together. Plus, we saved 1 breast for dinner last night, which gave us dinner and then lunch today. All of that cost $84.06. The amount of meals I can get from that is 39 meals. That's dinner and lunch the next day, which comes up to $2.15 per meal for protein only. That's not bad, family. It's not bad. If you're the type of person that meal plans, and that's every day of the week, you decide what you're going to have, you prepare things that you can prepare ahead of time, and then every day you cook a meal, or every other day you cook a meal and you have the leftovers the following day. You need to learn not to meal plan and then go shopping for those, because you're not going to find everything you need on sale that week. We need to get in the habit of looking at our local grocery stores, seeing what's on sale this week. Some of them even let you see what's on sale next week. And we need to shop when it's on sale. Break it down ourselves. Put them in vacuum seal bags for a meal or 2, depending on your family size. Then when you know what you have in the freezer, you have beef products, you have pork products, you have poultry, you have fish, things you find on sale. That's when you meal plan. You know you have ground beef in the freezer. You're going to have Taco Tuesday, spaghetti with homemade Italian gravy, which is tomato sauce, on Sunday. You'll do a breakfast either in the morning or at night. It really doesn't matter. I prefer breakfast at night. When you find pork on sale, even if you have to cut it up yourself and save $1 or $2 a pound, that's where your savings is. And I've said this before, I don't look at how much money I saved when I get my protein on sale, because money saved means money I can spend. It's not really a savings, because now it's like, oh my goodness, on this haul, which was 2 different hauls, I saved $26.89. That to me tells me I got $26 I can spend somewhere else, just whatever I want. Something from the internet or in my local store or something of that nature. I don't look at it money saved. I look at it like, okay, if I would have paid a regular price for everything, what did I get for free? Because getting it for free means I don't have extra money to spend. I just happen to get something for free. So out of that $26.89, if I were to pay regular price for all of this food that we have, that's basically saying I got my 2 whole chickens plus 24 ounces of bacon for free. I paid regular price for the pork chops. I paid regular price for the chicken breast. But I ended up getting 2 whole chickens and 1 bacon for free. You figure out what works best for you. Are you savings or are you getting it for free? That is today's video. We do have some food in the freezer. We've got food for the pantry. Plus we got a piece of chicken that we're going to have for dinner. So if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. While you're at it, please hit that subscribe button. I will love to have you part of the Grammy family. I cannot wait to bring you into the kitchen and we'll do something together. Next video is going to be a Sweet Thursday. And as of right now, I have no idea what that's going to be. If y'all have any suggestions, leave me a comment. I'm running out of things to do that the husband and I both like. Leave me a comment. Give me some suggestions for Sweet Thursday. But until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family. 513. No, we didn't. And that, my God. Back to the original video.